Tonight, is it a bird, is it a plane? The late night sight in the sky that left Port Lincoln residents baffled. And 2 Broken Hill police officers awarded for their brave services to the community.
This is Southern Cross News with Fraser Goldsworthy.
Good evening. Eyre Peninsula residents have been left scratching their heads as to what caused a loud bang to echo out across the region overnight. CCTV footage has captured the moment a meteor lit up the sky in Port Lincoln, rattling homes and businesses.
A fireball so bright it turned night into day. Residents across the EP were shaken as a meteor blasted overhead. The loud boom so loud it woke locals as they slept. Some even mistook it for an earthquake. Backyard security cameras clearly capturing the flash of bright light as it passed above. This shot from Mount Ives near Port Augusta captured this spectacular photo as the meteor burned through our atmosphere. Its long green tail glowing brightly through the night sky.
Cameras have picked up a beautiful green hue to this fireball, lasting a couple of seconds.
The meteor caused a flurry of activity online, with locals taking to social media in a scramble to ask, what was that? Experts believe the fireball is part of a larger meteor shower, as the Earth passes through space debris.
It's the second meteor shower in the year that's caused as the Earth passes through the material laid down by the comet Halley.
Last night's fireball is the second within a matter of months. Astronomers tracking movement were left speechless as this bright meteor passed over Port Lincoln back in July. Experts say it's not uncommon.
We do happen to have fireballs and meteors all around the globe all the time. It's just a matter of whether you see them or not.
Jason Kemp, Southern Cross News.
Simek Mining says drivers and pedestrians are continuing to put their lives at risk around its train tracks near Whyalla. The company warns it'll only be a matter of time before someone's hit.
8 times a day, trains shuttle between Whyalla and the southern Middleback mines, with up to 5,000 tonnes of stock on board. It's a hard task, but bringing them to a stop, even harder.
In terms of an emergency, for the driver to stop would take more than 100 metres, so there is no room for error.
Despite this, Whyalla residents are continuing to put themselves in danger. Simek officials say pedestrians are either walking on the tracks or are too close to them. It's also reported 4-wheel drives crossing at illegal points.
Quite an increase, an alarming increase in the number of people that are crossing our rail line.
People are being urged to stay away from the areas and use the designated crossings when needed.
And thousands of people who live in Whyalla rely on their livelihoods from the railway.
Simek has CCTV at a number of sites, and the company says it'll have no problem in handing over the damning footage to police. Mr. McMillan says the best thing people can do is respect the trains and behave appropriately.
I don't want to see a situation where we have a very serious incident, very serious accident, or a fatality for the community to wake up.
John Hunt, Southern Cross News.
A hay shed fire in Laura continues to burn, causing hundreds of thousands of dollars damage to a local farm. It comes as a total fire ban is enforced across the mid-north, leaving CFS crews on high alert.
A hay shed reduced to a smouldering mess.
When we attended, the hay was completely engulfed in flames.
The hay fire began just after 11 yesterday morning at a farm on Stockrood Road in Laura. The property owner was too distraught to speak on camera, but told Southern Cross News the inferno is a massive setback for the upcoming harvest season, with the 1,200 tonnes of hay set for export now burning away.
We've got extensive fire breaks around the shed at the moment to contain it, and the house on the eastern side is the risk at the moment.
Nearby residents are encouraged to stay indoors this weekend and be careful on the roads, with the thick smoke expected to blanket the town tonight, reducing visibility.
The smoke could impact Laura this afternoon with a wind change.
The CFS will remain on site over the coming days to monitor any possible flare-ups. And with strong winds on the way, they're taking no chances, especially given how close the fire is to the property owner's home.
Because it's a high-risk fire day and a fire ban in this area, we are monitoring it with 3 appliances and a bulk water carrier.
Attempts to extinguish the fire will be made as soon as the weather has blown over.
Tonight or first thing tomorrow morning we'll get into it with heavy machinery and open the hay shed up.
A cause is not yet known, but investigations are centring on the possibility of spontaneous combustion. The estimated damage bill is $400,000. Rachel Nell, Southern Cross News.
Stay with us. After the break, the local police officers honoured for their brave deeds in the Broken Hill community. Nearly 100 people have taken to the streets of Port Augusta to raise awareness for drug and alcohol recovery. The town's first Cyberwalk was championed by those who say giving up the drink and drugs was the best thing they've ever done.
It's a message these campaigners hope the rest of the city will hear.
Get on,
Taking to the streets to promote sobriety while reading placards of their own powerful messages to the region.
Drugs take you to hell disguised as heaven.
Eventually, every addict has their last high. Those of us who get clean get to talk about it.
If you look in Australia, everything we do is around alcohol, whether it's going on an AFL grand final or whatever. There's always alcohol promoted. So it's almost normal that the only time that you can have a good time is if you're drinking.
With ongoing issues with drug and alcohol abuse in the region, authorities say today's event is a step in helping those who need it most.
You know, I remember coming here years ago and most of the people that would have been in Gladstone Square would have been drinking.
Having dealt with an alcohol addiction himself, Mr Wilson wants others to know that recovery is possible.
And we've had some great results at the rehab with people coming in there with major problems and coming back out either to Port Augusta or other communities where they're now fully functioning members of that community.
Yeah, I think we're going to do it once a year and hopefully it'll build up each year. We want to get bigger and better.
Amelia Simpson, Southern Cross News.
Broken Hill Police were among those receiving citations and medals at today's Barrier Area Command annual awards ceremony. The event recognises the sacrifice the officers make to help keep our communities safe.
It's a tough job, but these men and women in blue wouldn't have it any other way.
This is the opportunity where police officers and both sworn and unsworn get recognised for their long service, courageous acts, dedication to duty.
Senior Constable Vanessa Pete received a commendation for her composure when dealing with a man brandishing a large hunting knife. While threatening to harm himself and the people around him, she stepped in and safely resolved the matter.
At that time we attended, myself and other officers talked him down, and which was a great result, where he's now been given the medical attention he requires.
Sergeant Andrew Mensforth was awarded a citation for his intensity in a pursuit near Wentworth. In something that sounds like something out of a Hollywood film set, the officer chased the offender on foot before he dived into the Murray River, trying to make a water getaway.
Some fishermen had just pulled in their boat, and I was able to, with assistance from other police, we commandeered their fishing boat and motored out into the centre of the river and able to arrest him.
Superintendent Smith says while it has been a tough year for police in the region, he's proud of the amazing work they do to keep the public safe.
It's a real important part of the year where we really give that recognition to the hard work that's done that often goes unseen and unheard.
Patrick Reinke, Southern Cross News.
Well, today marks the final official day of school for Year 12 students ahead of their final exams next month. At Whyalla Air High, students were honoured at a celebration event last night. Staff, students and families then joined for a supper to celebrate the achievements of the cohort.
So although there is some really happy emotions that we're finishing up here, there's also some knuckling down and trying to get it all blitzed out.
It can be a little bit more demanding, and to see the kids sort of succeed with that is very rewarding for us as teachers as well.
Still in Whyalla, and the town streets will be transformed into a racetrack next year for a billy cart race as part of the town's Unearth Festival. Organisers say they're looking forward to reviving the iconic Whyalla event, which started back in the 1960s.
Going fast with no power. You know, billy carts are purely friction, so it's no engines, no pedals, no nothing. It's just heading down a hill as fast as you can.
The group behind the revival is looking at running a number of different categories, ranging from an open class right through to a traditional model. All still to come tonight, preparations in full swing ahead of the annual Port Augusta Pantomime. The local real estate industry in Port Lincoln has received a little bit of recognition. 2 agents from Kemp Real Estate were acknowledged at the state's Real Estate Awards. Agent Alice Caston took home top honours, named Best Regional Property Manager, while Carl Semler received silver in the Regional Salesperson category.
I just love working with people and meeting new people and bringing people with their new investment properties and helping them get the best they can for their investment. So yeah, it's good all round.
Great to be recognised, but I think, you know, when you look back, we're pretty lucky to have such a good group here, and that's where it all stems from. I think we've got good support.
Well, more than 100 actors and dancers are preparing to take to the stage in Port Augusta's annual Pantomime next weekend. And Southern Cross News was invited backstage for a behind-the-scenes peek into dress rehearsals.
With plenty of lights, movement and comedy, the annual pantomime is still going strong after nearly 50 years.
The pantomime heralds in Christmas for nearly everybody.
A cast of 130 will take to the stage this year performing an adaptation of Robin Hood.
Our story has a bit of a twist to it, and we won't give away the twist, but you need to come to pantomime to have a look and see it.
Anderson Dance's principal Lindy Madigan says the cast and crew have rehearsed for nearly 4 months.
There are hundreds of thousands of hours spent on costumes and props and lighting and videos and data, all sorts of things that absolutely nobody sees.
Sewing multiple costumes for each cast member is a whole different task.
The group has 2 dancers and sometimes the seniors have 4, so that means there's 4 lots of outfits for 17 girls. All added up this year, there's over 500 costumes.
The pantomime will host 3 performances next weekend and audiences might see familiar faces.
People that work all over the place, so come and support your crew that work with you and have a great time while you're here.
Amelia Simpson, Southern Cross News.
New works of art scientifically representing the Northern and Upper Spencer Gulf have been opened up for show. The Adelaide-based artists have created 8 unique pieces, ranging from digital representations to videography.
Scientifically accurate, all the while pleasing the eye. A love for the region encouraged Dan Monceau to digitally illustrate the region using a nautical chart demonstrating the different depths of the Gulf.
And you can see just how narrow that central channel is as you look at the darker shades of blue.
In a first for the Port Pirie Regional Art Gallery, 2 videos are on display showcasing the marine life in the Gulf. Footage of cuttlefish gathering off the rocky reef near Whyalla and fiddler rays swimming off the coast of Port Broughton.
You can see their colour and shape changing abilities, you can see their complex behaviour and just the beautiful way they glide about under the water. It's a stroke of good luck. I saw the animals there, I put a camera on the seabed and the animals did their thing and made the art themselves really.
Visitors say they're surprised to see such diverse representations of our region.
A little bit of surprise actually. They're not really expecting to see it because it's the first time, and I think they love the tranquility of it and the peace of it.
But the artwork is only on display for a short time.
It runs just over 2 weeks, so it will be finishing Sunday week.
Rachel Nell, Southern Cross News.
Well, with the weekend almost upon us, it means plenty of sport, so here's what our experts are thinking cricket-wise.
G'day and welcome to round 3 of Port Augusta Cricket. This week we see West Augusta take on Corn. Corn, last year's grand finalist, haven't won a matches yet, so while West have won one, this could be a very good match. I'm going to still lean towards Corn, but don't be surprised if Westies pull up a bit of upset. The other match sees Central Stirling take on South Augusta. Central have been the surprise packet in the first 2 rounds. They've won both their games and they could possibly win their 3rd in a row, but I reckon South just might have too much firepower over Central, so I'm going to pick South over Central. So there's my 2 winners, Corn and South Augusta.
Hello and welcome to round 4 of Port Pirie Cricket. This round starts with Southport taking on Wandera at Port Oval on Saturday. Wandera suffered their first loss of the season last week, being bundled out for just 88 runs on a green top at Globe Oval. Southport have struggled for runs this season and will find it hard work against the strong Wandera bowling lineup. I'm tipping Wandera. The other match sees Solly North up against Props at Globe Oval. Props are the only undefeated side starting the season in good form. Reigning premiers Surrey North broke through for their first win of the season last week and will be keen to test themselves against Props. I'm tipping Props in this one.
Welcome to round 2 of Whyalla cricket, and Saturday's game sees North Whyalla taking on Rapina. North Whyalla are in pretty good form after a good win against Centrals last week. Their bowling line-up, led by Dave Miller and Sam Lewis, is very strong, and I think those two blokes will get a few wickets and get them over the line against Rapina. Sunday's game sees Central Whyalla taking on South. Centrals were competitive last week against South. A few players to come back into the side this week, and I think that'll be enough to get them over the line against South. Next week's Whyalla cricket, we'll see Matt Quist taking over. Good luck to Quisty.
Welcome to this week's Port Lincoln Cricket Tips. In the first game of the round sees the 2 grand finalists from last year, Southern Air and Tasman, battle it out at Wangari Oval. Be a good game this one, but SES should be way too strong in this match. In the next game sees Charlton and Waybacks, and they'll play at Ravendale Netball this weekend. Going to tip Charlton to get up in this match. Their batting is going alright, and Corey Stevens with the ball is in a bit of form too. And in the final game sees action return to Centenary Oval. The match will be played between Todd River and Lincoln South. Going to tip Lincoln South to get over the line in this one just. Thanks for listening to Port Lincoln Cricket Tips.
Bracknell cricket shifts to a Sunday this weekend with the Silver City Racing meeting on Saturday. In the early game at the Alma Oval, West take on South. This should be a very competitive game. South, although beaten by North last week, showed a fair bit of fight. I had to select West on past season form, but I think this will be a very good game. In the second game, Central take on North. Well, Central, they look like they're going to be the team to beat already after one round this season. They've recruited well over the winter, and their form looked pretty ominous against West last week. I'd have to select Central to beat North, although if Cody Howard returns to the North side this week, that'll bolster their batting, and they should still be competitive.
Stay with us after the break. Nicole will have all the weekend weather details.
Welcome back to the weather now. A bit of a mixed day across the region. Showers about in Port Augusta and Whyalla. A windy one for Port Lincoln. The sun pushing through in Port Pirie for a top of 25. And we couldn't escape the rain in Adelaide. Showers for 32. To the satellite, skies are mainly clear over the state under a ridge of high pressure. On the Gulf waters, winds will be west-southwesterly up to 20 knots. Seas up to 2 metres for your Saturday with the south-southwesterly swell. Sunrise at 6:25 tomorrow, sunset pushing even later after 7:40. Having looked to see what tomorrow will look like, the odd shower about in Port Lincoln and Coffin Bay. Otherwise, skies are pretty clear in Port Augusta and Whyalla for a top of 23. A nice day for Port Pirie, reaching a maximum of 25. And looking like clear skies in Adelaide for 21 degrees. A bit of a dreary outlook for Port Lincoln over the next few days. Showers continuing for Cleve as well before cloud cover sets in Monday. And a nice start to the weekend for Woodner, but it'll be quickly changing with showers on the way Sunday. In Whyalla, Fireys will be keeping a close eye on things Sunday with a windy one for 33 degrees. Much the same for Port Augusta, and a bit of change in Kadina with a wet and windy day expected to wrap up the weekend. Port Pirie also affected by the cooler change pushing through Sunday. Showers clearing up by Tuesday. In Clare, much the same, seeing the mercury drop right down to 16 degrees on Monday. And in Broken Hill, the temperature has eased off a little with a top of 21 on the way. So there will be some sunshine out tomorrow before the rain returns. Fraser.
Enjoy it while we can. Thanks, Nicole. And that's the news to now. We'll be back Monday. Hope you can join us then. Good night.